for Hot Benedict. Oh my God. Nautical Rob on the boat he is. Nautical Rob on the boat again. Nautical Rob. He's gonna sunbathe nude. Take it, Robbie.
I'm nautical Rob, I'm on a boat. I'm nautical Rob, I'm with a friend Rich.
Hey.
Nautical Rob, and I'm not gonna take off my clothes. In spite of what he says.
Gotta put on the sunscreen on your nethers, otherwise they'll get all red and leathery, Bobo. You don't want to burn your junk. Rob likes to sunbathe nude on a boat, or at the school, or at the church. He doesn't care. Rob likes to get a sunburn on his nards. Take it, Bobo.
I'm sorry, Pastor. I didn't mean to take off my clothes in your church. But my friend Rich put me up to it. He said it'd be a barrel of laughs.
Ha ha ha, I'm laughing at Bobo and his now bleached pubic hair because he took his pants off on the boat, and here he is.
Hey! That's our new
We
song.
worked all week on our song
That's our new
called
song.
Bobby Don't Burn Them Nards, is what it's called.
Within the song,
Yep.
I resisted taking off my clothes, and then I ultimately did in a church in front of a pastor.
Because in rehearsal, he stripped nude every time, so that was a nice pivot, Bobo.
I'm shy.
How many of you, first of all, okay, so we first saw you guys in this very space.
Yeah.
It was day one, moment one of us having
4
done...
weeks ago.
Yeah, it feels like that. Having done nothing, having had no excursions, no adventures, and now we've had so many.
Yes.
It's been so fabulous. I, for one, have had a freaking blast. Have you guys been having a good time?
So great.
Just the snorkeling, Robbie, the ziplining, the scuba diving, the water park.
The kayaking.
With the slides, the mat on mat, the wine tasting, the...
Matt on Matt was amazing.
Literally Matt on a mat. I tell my wife, she's asking me what everybody's doing. I'm like, well, Rob's doing kayaking, and she's like, what's Matt doing? Like, it's called Matt on a mat, and Matt just lays on a mat with other people who want to lay on Matt but can't afford to lay on him, so they lay on a thing that has the same name as him.
I was really pumped. Kayaking was at the same time as that.
So
I would really would have liked to.
Matt on a mat. What would Rob on a Rob be? Like, what would be?
You.
Yeah. But like Rob, if somebody wanted to pay top dollar to lay on Rob, but they can't afford to lay on Rob, you're precious cargo. So if you're Matt, you can get a mat.
Right,
you can lay on Matt. It's simulate. What's a Rob? Like lay on a thief? Like
Right. You go. We just go together to a bank and we attempt to rob the bank.
Rob.
We all go to jail together. And then there we are in the cell, lying on each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. For me, let's see, what would Dick on Dick be?
Come on, give me
I know what
something.
it is.
There's got to be something.
You'd lay on a detective
That's what it is.
from the 40s.
Definitely that.
Right?
By the way, not going to be able to make that one.
You're not going to surprise me at that excursion. I hope everybody has had a great time. This is such a unique experience that all of us are having.
Yeah.
There will never be another first cruise, and here we all are celebrating it, so that's awesome. Hell, there may never be a second cruise, but for right
We
now...
don't know if there'll be a second, but if there is ever a second, we can say we were at the
We were there. I know that Rob and I, at least Rob and I and Matt, will be lobbying to do this again because we've had a great time. I hope you guys have too. And today is actually like real convention-y stuff.
Yeah, real convention-y stuff. Rich and I are the hosts of the day.
We are.
And there's no band. It's just me and you doing our thing.
Right, that's why we wrote that song. That's why we spent so much time
with that
in the
song.
music studio working out that song.
Really happy. I nailed the
Bobby
second
Don't
verse.
Burn Them Nards.
Yeah, Robbie Don't Burn Them Nards. And then in parentheses, I'm sorry, Pastor.
Apologies, Monsignor. Bobby Don't Burn Them Nards. Well, Robbie, should we get this thing started? Because we have like
party started.
Better than a cup of coffee.
No.
We have people to fill these chairs.
We have.
Let's bring them out here.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, Robbie.
Ruth Connell.
Ruth Connell, everybody.
Kim Rhodes.
Kim Rhodes in the house.
Briana Buckmaster.
Briana Buckmaster. Gil McKinney. Even DJ didn't expect to be here. DJ Qualls.
Where am I?
Here they are.
Hey guys.
All right. out of here and leave the stage for these trained professionals. Everybody have a microphone?
Yeah, we're gonna take your mics if we
Ruth, do you
can.
have a mic? Okay.
Hey, Cruz. How are we doing? Is anyone hungover? Okay, that's less than I expected, honestly. I feel fine. There was a problem with my schedule this morning, so I was naked like 5 minutes before I had to be somewhere. So, excuse the unpressed linen pants.
DJ, I like the fluffy hair and boyish look.
Thank you.
I think you've discovered something by a happy accident.
I'm gonna move on to this boat, I think.
I can see you being cruise director.
I want to be old and fat on a cruise ship. I'm a convert. I definitely am. Yeah, the thing that was great is that when I was packing, you try on clothes you haven't tried on for quite some time, and I was like, oh my God, I've got middle-aged man belly developing. And then I was really self-conscious, and then the first day, I'm like, people are just letting it all hang out, and I'm like, cool. It took away other people's confidence, took my insecurity away. So I'll cruise all the time.
What do we do now?
How does this work? Questions? It's so nice to see your faces. Hi.
She's the best. I'm like, what? And she's like, it's so nice to see you.
I just feel like I haven't seen some of your faces.
Because they haven't bought your photo.
It's been a bit of a blur as well, hasn't it?
Oh my gosh,
Let's be
we were
honest.
just backstage talking about how we can't quite wrap our heads around why we're so tired. It's because you just go up 14 hours every day. Just keep going. Whether you're drinking, whether you're working, doesn't matter, you're still going.
It's awesome.
Who was gonna yell something at me? Layla?
So clearly you're missing a pivotal part of the Q&A, which is you knowing when you get to do the Q part.
Oh, do you want me to go Q?
Honey, you're very tender this
We
morning.
like you
I don't
on
wanna put
stage.
that on you.
You're too pretty today to not be in the limelight.
You know what? Here's the thing. You don't have to go
Yes.
on stage.
Yes.
You're just in charge of pointing at people, but you don't have to bring the microphone
Stay in the
out
light,
there.
darling.
Hey guys, welcome. How are you? Good. Who has a question for us? I'll start with you. I saw your hand first. Hi.
Hi.
Tell us things.
Hi, I'm Joey from Canada.
Where in Canada? Where in Canada are you from?
Alberta.
Okay. And where in Oh wait, are you from Edmonton? Okay, we talked about this.
Okay, so I'm going to get a chance to ask a second question. So I have a two-part question. You can just answer whichever part resonates with you.
Good projection, by the way. You're doing better than a lot of the actors.
Okay, so first part of the question is, what has been the most, you kind of answered this part already, but what has been the most serendipitous part or like unknown blessing, like totally unexpected thing about going to a convention, whether that's an interaction or just something that happens at the convention? The other part of it is, if you could go back 20 years ago to the beginning of Supernatural, whatever, what would you tell your younger self from what you know now?
Oh, those
As
are
it
good
pertains
questions.
to Supernatural.
Not as pertains, just anything career-wise,
Just it-
life-wise.
Okay.
Like 20 years ago, what you could tell yourself today?
Yeah.
Ooh, a lot.
Kim?
I am very, I have to do a lot of work on myself. And everything about myself that I'm proud of, first of all, can be traced back to you fuckers. Because this is an environment that I remember when somebody a long time ago, when I was first exploring, when I was first talking about identifying as the mother of an autistic person. I didn't know at that point I was autistic. I just thought I was weird and broken. No, I'm perfectly fine. I'm just autistic. And but someone responded to me. They said, your actions are not consistent with who you say you want to be. Ooh. And I was able to hear that because I know this environment, and this environment feels so safe. So I would say that's the answer to your first part is who I've become because of Supernatural and because of what you've taught me and because I love you enough to be willing to overcome my ego telling me I have to be right, and because I trust that you love me enough so that you are saying this not out of I'm right, you're wrong, but more out of we know you. We know your heart. Let your life reflect your heart. So I'd say who I've become. And the second part is, if I'd given myself advice 20 years ago, I wouldn't have fucking listened to it. I had to learn the hard way. Like, that's how you learn the stove is hot. Sometimes you just put your hand on it. That's me.
I was going to agree with that a little bit. Sometimes it's best not to know. You know? 20 years ago, it's 15 years since I moved to America. And so I'm finding it hard to even remember the 5 years before that. Kim and I had a conversation about this last night, though. Life always throws you challenges. It really does. And things have also never been better. And I think that's something that comes with age, if you allow it. So I'm going to agree with Kim and say, best not to know. I think I had an okay attitude, actually, but I'm really glad for all the help that I've been given, all the support that I've been given, and I'm very in favour of personal development. I think self-help gets a bad rap, but why? You're trying to help yourself be happier or healthier, and so I would just probably encourage myself to stay on the path that I was on and worry less, but I don't know how to do that still, so anyway, that's me.
"20 years ago, I would probably tell myself to have a good backup plan." I only say that because, 20 years ago, I was working a lot more than I am now as an actor, and things were, they were really good, and I just thought it would always be like that. And the industry has changed so much, and it's gotten much, much harder, it seems. So I would just tell myself to have a backup plan, something else that I love to do that makes me happy. So that's where I'm at kind of today. And as far as like serendipity or something that I've learned from this whole thing that was surprising, it's just all of it. I was thinking this morning as I was getting dressed, like, I've been all over the world because of these conventions. And I'm on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean.
Wobbling slightly. Can you feel it?
So it's been just one of the greatest gifts, and I have this vivid memory of working one day on set with Jensen and him saying, "You heard about the conventions?" And I was like, a little bit. And he was like, "When they call, you go." And shortly thereafter, they called, and it's just been the wildest ride. And before this, I'd been to Canada for work and maybe, Cancun for a senior high school graduation trip. But since then, I've been all over, and it's been really nice. So I can't thank you guys enough.
20 years ago, I was probably relatively fresh out of theater school, and had really big dreams, and my dreams were juicy and romantic and very pink and purple and rose colored, and they were so perfect and beautiful and exciting. And I think that when you enter into your chosen profession, and this profession, if you're lucky enough to even get a foot in the door, they become, the reality kind of sets in pretty quickly. And I went to theater school, and I got a degree in musical theater, thinking that my big dream was to be on Broadway, and I really wanted to sing on stage, act. My very first musical I ever saw was Les Mis, and I was 11 years old, and I was like, I want to do that. And so I've ever since then put everything into it to do it. And then when I started working in theater, it was in musicals specifically, very challenging vocally. I was always losing my voice. I didn't have the tone a lot of musical people, or a lot of directors were looking for in young women. And I was just like, oh, this is not, and people always told me, for my entire life, you'll work so much when you're older. That's not what a 20-year-old wants to hear. But I was like, okay, I kind of settled into that, and same, like I entered into many different careers in my 20s to try to just, survive. But when I really quite randomly got the role on Supernatural, and was pregnant at the time, and thought I just needed a job. So I stopped working in theater and started working in TV, just random roles, just for money, for paychecks. But I remember when I started doing the conventions, it's so funny, Jensen had the same conversation with me. He was telling me all about the conventions. So it's like the commission. I wonder if he gets commission.
He's the headhunter for creation.
I think he's fine. But I remember getting to sing with the band. And at a time, when I was in my early 30s, thinking I was not going to be able to sing anymore, and that was it. And I had to say goodbye to that part of my life, and being able to do the conventions and sing, and then getting to do my own album and develop musicianship that I didn't think I had in me has been so special, and I'm so eternally grateful. In a very roundabout way, that Supernatural and the Supernatural fandom has brought me back to the musician within me, and that I will be able to have that kind of love with that path forever. There's no one telling me I can and can't do it, so eternally grateful for that.
I wish I would have been more present, because things happened for me kind of quickly, and I was caught up in this over gratitude of inclusion, which made me white knuckle about the first 10 years of my career, and say yes to the point where I wasn't having fun anymore, and just so afraid that if I, in this form, were to say no to something, they would do this. Why are you here? And so, and I think my 20-year-old self, or 20-year-ago self, could have probably heard that. I needed someone to do this. Stop. You're doing too much. You are clearly not happy. And that kind of happened. I was on an aircraft carrier shooting The Core and being flown off to do publicity for a movie. So I was working at night on the thing and then doing publicity during the day. And I was wrecked, and I was younger, so I had the energy to do it, but I didn't know my lines, and so Richard Jenkins took me to dinner in the mess hall and told me that I was making a fool out of myself, and embarrassing them too, and he's right. I mean, this is a $200 million movie, and I was so worried about saying yes to everything, I was failing myself, and I was not having fun. And that was sort of the spark of it, but it took, like what Kim said, you can only really learn something when you're ready to experience it, because every mistake has been made by an older person since the beginning of time. Yeah. And then probably a few years ago, I was like, I don't have to do that. That's not something Sam Smith was the person I turned to. I barely knew her at the time. We were like, we didn't have our friendship breakthrough moment yet. And after the pandemic, I got offered the 500th episode of Law & Order Special Victims Unit, and I really wanted to do that show. But it meant canceling an appearance in England where I was going to see my godchildren, right after England opened up. And so I called Sam, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm worried about saying no because I feel so grateful, and it feels ungrateful to say no. And then Sam said this: you've only told me negative things. You've not said one positive thing about this. And actors usually, when they get a role, start with the positive things and how they feel about it. So say no. And I did, and it changed me. And so I'm happy for that. So that's sort of the other answer to the question, is that a lot of us never work together, and we know each other through conventions. So my biggest surprise is knowing these people as well as I know them. I'm on a 23-person text thread with them that I have to keep muted because people are in different parts of the country where have children and they're all up early. And so it'll start chiming in at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, it is 7 o'clock twice in the same day? Mute. But I love them. I love you guys.
Great.
So we'll have time for one more question.
DJ, go pick somebody.
No, she picked
This lady
somebody.
here.
Oh, somebody's been picked.
Is that all right? And then who's after this person? Okay, so over there.
I'll say it for Jack, but this is mostly for DJ because he made me a promise the first night.
Oh no.
Aren't you glad I got picked? So I had mentioned, you had said the first day, the thing that you realized in the shower about letting things go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then in the evening, I had the pleasure of sitting and talking with you, and you had said some things about bullying that were really just the way that you put them. I was like, oh my God, will you let me, like, will you do a PSA basically?
Oh, I remember this.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would love it if, and you guys can like pile on in on there, but a PSA basically, the way that he was putting, like, saying to a bully, like, that's not cool, you don't want it to be this way, why would you act this way? But like, in a way that would resonate with young, like the way that he put it that night, and he said that he would do it again for me.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, so that's basically my question.
You can find me at Coconut and Lime on 15. It's
Which one?
Rowan, the one that's closest to the one that's closest to the side of the boat. There's two in the middle. This is the one that's closest to Windjammer. Rohan is my friend. He's my bartender there. So yeah, find me there. Yeah, find me there. No, I don't want to put everybody on the spot, but I definitely will do it. Yeah. Yeah. We're very careful also not to ever put each other on the spot, not to pass messages along. I mean, our friendship exists in this, but outside of this. So I'm protected.
I
by my
don't
loved ones.
understand anything that just happened besides the word coconut.
Lime, you know lime.
Right, okay, so that's 2 words. Did she just ask you to publicly repeat some wisdom on addressing bullies?
Yeah, yeah.
I think this is a fine time
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking basically.
Yeah, but she wants to do it like on a camera close up, and so like I told her, oh, you don't?
I want to be a part of wisdom so I can play it for my children and I want to hear all your wisdom on bullying.
Well,
I have none.
I can definitely do that. Okay, I just didn't want to put anybody on the spot. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Kim.
Yeah, thank you for interpreting, Kim, and also allowing me the permission to do this because I didn't want to put anybody on the
I
spot.
understood more than just the word coconut.
Okay, so we talked the other night about bullying, and the things that I mentioned in the panel were that, well, it starts out like this. When you say something to somebody, you're going to forget it probably pretty quickly, but then it imprints it on, and especially when you're young, it imprints on them, and then they carry it. So they not only internalize it and feel some kind of way about themselves, they now feel some kind of way about you, and you've grown up, you've matured, but you've stunted somebody. But I've allowed myself to be stunted, but I'm also 16, so I don't know what to do. And I feel like if we could really impress that upon children, like when you say something to somebody, it's like, and they're going to remember that. And I think that's the beginning part of it, but also we need to teach children how to cope with it and realize that if you're doing your best, other people's opinion of you is not your business. You don't have to live in that. But a year at 16 feels like 10 years, you know what I mean? High school feels like it's forever, and it's not. And it gets so much better. And that was a really great campaign that just went away, and it does get better. But you still live in it, and as an adult, I've punished myself for 30 years for things that happened to me when I was 16. And then one day I just realized I don't have to do that anymore, and it altered me. It also, I'm less easy to anger. I am more forgiving, and I'm a little sad for myself. I'm a little sad that I held on to that for so long, and I don't want that for anyone, like the self-punishment. But yeah, realizing that people's opinion of you when you're trying your best. First of all, I'm sorry and I don't know are two of the easiest things to say and some of the hardest things for people to do. But I don't know or I'm sorry, and when you mean them, they're your get out of jail free cards. But allowing yourself to be human, hurt through it certainly, but you have to let it go. And letting go is something that once you start to do it, it's a muscle. You have to practice letting things go. You have to be present in your letting go. And then when the thoughts come back, you're like, no, I've let this go. I'm not doing this with you, with myself anymore. And that was a pivotal moment for me. And it only happened like, I think maybe 8 years ago, maybe. I don't know. It's all one long night. But yeah, that's the advice I have. And
Just it's interesting just even talking about it. I had a flashback to this one girl. Her name was Donna. I was in ballet class with her, and I was doing an impersonation of someone, and she went, "Oh, who's Ruth doing an impersonation of now?" And I remember, like, just when you're talking about it, I can still feel the shock. I feel it, and I haven't thought about that for 40 years. and it's so true. Somebody will say something, and I think I stopped doing it. And I think I was actually quite good at doing impersonations. And then I turned out to be an actor. I didn't know at that point because I was dancing. And it's really like, it's making me think about the times maybe I've said something to someone too, right? Not meaning to be the bully. But you say something or you pass a remark. And I think what your point is as well is it's never too late to also go back to say to someone else, I'm sorry I said that. Yeah. I realize I said the wrong thing and I hurt you. So it's just thank you for talking about it. I just feel like, and then having that memory and that realization, like now I can let it go. Yeah. Now I can start doing terrible impersonations.
I can't wait to hear them all.
Ooh, do Rob.
It's the beginning of something wonderful.
When I was 6 years old, I'll never, it's like to your point, these things that stay with you. The first time I sang on stage in front of my school, I was in first grade. When I was done, a kid called me an FAG. And I at the time, I don't even know if I knew what that meant. And it stuck with me. I mean, things like that, like this, we're talking about 40 years ago, and I can remember it vividly. I mean, it stung me, and I put up with a lot of that kind of stuff singing as I grew up. And what I realized as I got older is a lot of these bullies came from homes where they didn't get a lot of love, and so I try to forgive them and get past it. But it's incredible how, one word can hurt somebody and they can remember that 40 years later. So, as far as advice, I don't know. I try to just give them a pass, realize that, I came from a home with two parents who were very loving, and a lot of these bullies did not. So hopefully they're in a better place today.
But to that, it's also, I think it's great to be compassionate for people who are exhibiting bad behavior. I think it's necessary. But it's also, you're still responsible ultimately, especially as you get older, for your experience if it dictates your behavior. And how we can all do that, how we can all help society and each other, is that if you see it, call it out in real time, which there's a lapse of that. Because first of all, when somebody's doing something awful to, say, me, my first thought is embarrassment. Now, I'm embarrassed that you're seeing this. Yeah. And that's what you have to realize. When somebody is being denigrated, their first thing is, oh my God, I'm embarrassed. And yes, shame, you're ashamed. And we can all help that by just doing this. I don't like that from you. That is not something that I want to hear. And you shouldn't say that to this person, and take them out of the situation. We can all do that. And it's like, I had this chihuahua, and the only way he could learn is when I turned my back on him.
My daughter was, I think, 9 years old the first time she came home and said one of her friends said she was fat. And she kind of didn't know what that meant. And she was like, am I? And I was like, it doesn't matter. And also, being fat is not a bad thing. Our society has demonized bodies to a way that just has never made sense to me. And I said, that is not your friend. And I described to her what a good friend does and a good friend doesn't. and your friend is nice to you one day and not nice to you another day. And I said, I described all of that. Anyway, I said, I think your friend is bullying you, and to give yourself some space from that, don't hang out with that friend. Go towards the friends who are consistently kind. Consistency is the thing I always demand in friendship. But then I got a phone call from the friend's mother and said, oh, you know, Valentina tells me that you've told her Mila is a bully. And I said, I didn't say she was a bully. I said she's bullying. She has bullying behavior. And she's like, well, we take bullying very seriously in our house. And I said, I should hope so. So the thing is like, I've taught Valentina, I said the same thing, compassionate. These are children. They're not bad people. They've developed a way to move through the world that has protected them and serves them for some reason. They're 8 years old. These are things that adults have somehow taught them that they need. And yeah, to these guys' point, it is important that we have compassion for humans, but it is not our job to teach somebody how to appropriately move through the world. It is our job to protect ourselves, and love the people who consistently love us back.
No notes, nothing to add.
I love that we got into
Coconut.
that. I love coconut and lime. That was great. Thank you.
You pick.
Gentleman right here. Hi. Oh, I don't have to come down there.
Good morning.
Speaking of conventions, is there a question that you would,
That we want you to ask us?
well, that you'd love to get and we never asked?
You
Do
fool.
you fucking think if there was something I wanted to say that I'd be sitting there going, gosh, I only wish I could be prompted to say the inside voice out loud.
We literally
So that
have
would be a
microphones.
no?
We say whatever the fuck we want. We don't need you guys to ask
Yeah,
us.
you can ask us a question. We will answer something
Something else.
Yeah,
We do it all the time.
My panels are that.
Yeah.
Like, you ask me something, I tell you like 30% of the answer and then tell you a story that's completely unrelated. That's the way it works.
I'll tell you though, full credit to you guys. There will always still be like this. There will always still be a question that we have not been asked. It's really amazing at this point, right? And when the actor strike was on, we weren't allowed to specifically reference the show.
right.
And that was so interesting. The questions that people came up with, it was really creative, right?
Oh, I don't know. That was 25 years ago.
I don't know, but
the little boy who asked us what animal we'd like to be reincarnated as, like, no one's ever asked me that before. I'd love that question. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
What's your name again? What's your name? Corbin? Corbin, I liked that question. That stuck with me. I've never been asked that before. Yeah.
Hey, welcome.
the lady in the pink. Yes, lady, you're a girl. A wee girl.
Hi, I'm Belle. I'm from Minnesota.
Hi, Bill.
Maybe this isn't as deep of a question as everybody else's.
Love it.
I love shallow.
I really like animals. Started watching movies. I was wondering if there's like a surprising media that you guys consume that you might not expect to really enjoy.
80s alternative dance music. I gave them a playlist for the party that happened 2 nights ago. They did not play my playlist.
And Matt Cohen
So
lost
then
20
I
bucks.
took money away from Matt Cohen.
Yeah.
And I went up and gave it to the DJ and I said, please just skip to that song. And he said, this is my playlist. And I had to stick, I can't just change that. And you know what I did not do? I did not go, do you know how many fucking DJs I blew in the 80s? I know how this works. You can fucking play all the more like erasure. I did not do that. Instead, I just panicked and left the party.
Earmuffs, Corbin. Earmuffs, Corbin.
He's fine. He's met me before. He knows.
He took the bribe, man. He
I don't
took
remember what the
bribe.
question was now. Yeah, what was the question? Oh,
Surprising media.
Surprising media. media.
Oh,
Apparently, the surprising media is 80s DJs as well for me. I didn't know that was going to be answered in the question, but yes.
Mine is Court TV. Court TV. It's gotten to be bad. Like I've had to it's gotten bad. I've had to like pull the plug. Court TV. I mean, true crime in general, but Court TV. I started just watching trials. Like every day.
What is Court TV? Is it literally just trials, or is it like that show where somebody gets killed, and then
It's live trials.
It's live trials
all day, every day, except for the weekends.
That is mind-numbing.
And some of them are just, I mean, absolutely fascinating. But it got to the point where my wife was like, "All right, enough with the fucking Court TV."
Maybe you're
And I said, "All right, I tell you what." I said, "You stop watching Desperate Housewives or
Real Housewives."
Thank you, Real Housewives or anything like that. Then I'll stop watching Court TV. That hasn't happened.
Maybe you're a frustrated lawyer.
Maybe.
I am obsessed with a TV show called Antiques Road Trip, not Road Show. Road Trip. It's on the BBC, and there is a channel dedicated to it on Amazon where they run it 24 hours a day. So, and here's how it works. They take two antiques. This is not surprising in the least if you know me. I bought Larry Flint's wheelchair at an auction the other day. It's going in my living room. It's gold plated, and I don't have one, and so they take two antiques valuers, and it's over the course of 5 episodes, and they give them 200 pounds to start with, and then they go out and buy crap, and they put it in an auction at the end, and then you see your total go up or down, right? And so that is the whole show, and at the end of the week, who has the most money is the victor. And I love British television because no one would go on Wheel of Fortune here unless you could win $100,000. But people there will do it for a cake plate, or the honor of winning, or 1,000 pounds. Like it's a different idea of winning and what you deserve to win for showing up and trying. And I really love British television for that. And so Antiques Road Trip is I watch it 24 hours a day. It's on all the time when I'm at home. In the background, it's my comfort show. It's replaced Golden Girls for me. And I see something new all the time. The problem is it feeds my collecting addiction. Because I'm like, I don't have any turn of the century Chinese cloisonne enameled birds. Now I do. But I love it. And also, for me, learning is object-based. If I can see something or hold it in my hand, I'm like, and like when I watch it, I love British, also period dramas. And it takes me 2 hours to get through 30 minutes of a show, because I'm like, what was a pound worth in 1781? You know what I mean? How much did how much did a loaf of bread cost? What is one French livre? And you know what I mean? I go deep into the learning part of it. I love it. Anyway, Antiques Road Trip. I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime.
I think mine would probably be sports, which it happened during watching the World Series, because people in Canada, generally, sweeping generalization, we have one baseball team. So when they hit the World Series, I'm not kidding, the entire country watches. But I grew up playing baseball, and I coached baseball, but I didn't follow it because the Jays hadn't been in the series for 30 years. And so when I went back to watch it, it's so funny, I was very invested, knew all about the players, all about the teams. Borja and Billy, who are two of the members of Loud and Swain, were also into baseball, and they were trying so hard to call bullshit on me. They were like, I don't think you watch baseball. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm not trying to prove anything to you. And Billy would be like, oh yeah, who's Vladdy's dad? And I'm like, well, he played for the Expos. And Billy's like, he did? Anyway, and then I was, on the way here watching the Riders game on the plane. And I was like, oh, I guess I do enjoy watching sports. Yeah, I made fun of people. Thank you so much. I made fun of people watching sports for so long, but it really is so fun to get invested in a team and feel the kind of cortisol rise and then severely drop. So that's it.
I was shocked by that feeling, because I grew up with no professional sports around me. We just had the Vols, which is a college team. I'm like, none of y'all went to college. Why are you so into this? Because it's what they had. And then somebody took me to a Dodger game on my birthday years and years ago. Go Dodgers! And took me to a Dodgers game, and I was like, have we met? Like but there were fireworks on the field. They let you go sit on the field. It was a Friday night, and you had 50,000 brand new friends, and it changed me because I was like, I feel like a part of something that I never felt a part of.
It's like fandom. It's exactly the same thing. That's why don't ever let anybody make fun of you for being a part of fandom.
I think it's brave to love things. Love things out loud. I hate the term guilty pleasure. I hate it so much. If you love something and it's not hurting anybody or yourself, love that thing out loud.
It's just pleasure. It's just pleasure. I realize listening to everyone, I'm so boring. Like I can tell you lots about actors in films and plays and ballet, and like it's kind of obvious. Like you say an actor, I can probably tell you something about their biography. But then, Briana, when you were talking, I realised I grew up in a household. My dad was a soccer, real football where you kick it.
I saw you post that soccer
you
reel.
Kick it with your
the other day.
hands. It's so weird. Anyway, so I grew up in a household.
Use your hands.
I know. My dad would be watching a football match on television and listening to a different one on the radio at the same time. And in the World Cup, I know football. My grandma ran a football team for 30 years. My female cousin played, she still does the strips and the locker stuff for one of the teams in Scotland, and that's my whole dad's side of the family. And I was watching the World Cup last time it was on. I was in Los Angeles watching it on television, and somebody scored. It was an England game, I think. Somebody scored, and I said, that's got to be the fastest goal that's ever been scored in a World Cup. And the commentator went, that's the fastest goal that's ever been scored. And I was like, oh, I kind of know soccer, and I understand the offside rule. You don't have to explain it to me, and I do actually really love the World Cup, and I love in America, and kudos to America for doing this, that women's soccer is just as important, it's just as appreciated, it's paid as well. It's the women's soccer in America, because it's a newer sport in America. You treat it like more equally, and it's fantastic, and I'm so excited for the next World Cup, and I went to see the LA Galaxy and stuff. I want to see more soccer, and so that's my secret thing. Thank you, Briana, for reminding me.
Sports.
From an unlikely source. I lived in England for like a long time. I lived in the UK, and I was shocked at how it really is a lifeblood, right?
And Scotland just got through to the World Cup. Sorry.
I didn't even know that, but it's the language, like get in, like get in there. It's something
Number 7,
everybody.
break his leg.
But like everybody says it, like let's go, or that's great, or whatever. Get in there if something good happens to you, and it's relates back to football, but it's just something that you say. And I was saying it for years, not realizing that it was talking about a goal. Yeah, something good happens. Get in there.
Haiti just got into the World Cup finals for the first time in 40 years.
I thought it was first time ever.
First time ever?
I think. I also saw that. Yeah. Sports. Okay, I saw Blue Hat has their hand up hard and fast. Yes, you. Go.
Hi, I'm Tara from Washington.
Hi, Tara.
You got this.
So my question is, I'm a writer, and I was wondering if y'all want to write a book, what genre would you prefer to write in?
I'm lazy, so it would be a short one. I actually wrote a children's book in 2020, and we had it finished, illustrated, and then long story short, my editor was like, oh, we can't distribute this because it won't sell, because it's about a woman who, it's called Lola's Adventures, and it's about a little girl and all the adventures that she has with her community while her mom is traveling for work. And it was supposed to come out in 2020, and the pandemic hit and nobody traveled ever again. So they're like, this won't sell very well right now, so we put it on hold. And there's been stories about it coming out in the next year or two, but we'll see. But children's books. I guess.
I would buy that book, Briana. I would buy that book right
Thank
now.
you.
So
Yeah,
look forward to it
I think a
coming
lot
out.
of people could relate to that.
I have 2 books that I've written. One is, I just haven't done anything with them yet because then it becomes difficult. One is called Broken Monkey Dancing Fish, and it's about Roxy, who tries so hard to climb the tree with all the other monkeys, and she just can't, and she can't, and she can't, and she can't, and then she figures out that it's because she's a fish and she's supposed to swim. Yeah, and the other one is called Wind Horse, and it was written for a horse friend of mine named Vision, and it's about a baby horse that wants to race the wind, and the wind says, "We will race when you can beat me." So the horse goes faster and faster, and then she meets a girl that needs her to go slower and slower, and so she goes slow, and she keeps saying, "Am I going to race the wind?" And the wind says, "Not yet. You don't race me till you can win." And the horse goes slower and slower, and then she goes slower for the little girl's child. And then she goes slower and slower. And one day she stops. And then she races the wind.
Murder. Yeah, I have not written a book, but it would be murder mystery of some kind. I did write a script once, and I swear to God, it is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I don't know that I'm a writer. I enjoyed it. I felt really proud of my work because it was hard. I mean, when you live in that thing and it's just in your head all day, every day, and at night when you're trying to go to sleep. So writers, man, I mean, hats off to writers. But yeah, that would be my genre.
It drives me crazy how they literally are the blueprint. They're kind of the alpha and the omega of the thing. It's right there, and it's incredibly difficult, especially like people who write sitcoms. That's hard. Telling a story in 22 minutes is hard. And also that acting style, I was on a sitcom, I guested on Big Bang and left. I was supposed to do 10 episodes and I was like, this is not for me. And knew well enough, and also me and Chuck Lorre fought, well, he was awful to me. And come to find out he was going through some things and then I wound up doing his HBO show years later. But I was like, this is very difficult and I have so much respect. It's so crazy how few times writers are on sets. Just to be able, especially when you're on a TV show, sometimes there's nobody to just do, what does this mean? Yeah. And I have so much respect for writers. Mine also would be murder. I read all of Agatha Christie's books during the pandemic, and also there's a woman named Mary Roberts. I think it's Mary Reinhardt's Roberts, and she was the American version of Agatha Christie that was like 20 years before her. And I've read all of her books too. So yes, I love murder mysteries. I love mysteries. I don't like them in real life though. I don't like the unknown. I don't like to be surprised. If I'm missing something, I tear the whole house apart. Look who it is! Hey!
Great. Now, what would you write?
I would love to be able to write a book like Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow or Paper Cup, like adult non-fiction. I think it's extremely difficult. I can see me trying to write stuff down so that there's my memories for my daughter. Not that anybody would care about my autobiography, but I can see me trying to write something like that because I think that is more doable. That's it. That's my story. It's not a very great answer. If you were to write a book, what kind of book would you write, guys?
A picture book.
And I would illustrate his picture book.
Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Qualls, McKinney, Briana, Buckmaster, Rhodes, and Ruth, Connell. There you go.
Thanks,
With their
guys.
bevies. Nice work.
One more time for this lovely group.
There they go.
And the little Scottish caboose.
Robert, our next guest, he's